My parents forbade me from celebrating my 18th birthday because my sister didn't feel special enough, so I moved out that night. A year later, their golden daughter saw how successful I'd become, and her jealous meltdown shattered the family. 3 days before my 18th birthday, my mom sat me down with the gentle voice she used whenever she needed something from me. "We're pushing your party back," she said. "Your sister's having a hard time right now." I didn't argue. Arguing in my house just meant a longer conversation about how sensitive my sister was and how strong I'd always been. There was never going to be a party. It would quietly become permanent, the same way my 16th birthday dinner had turned into a family meeting about my sister's breakup instead. I packed 2 duffel bags, clothes, my laptop, $400 I'd saved from babysitting that I kept in a shoebox instead of the joint account my mom had opened for me. Money had been moving in and out of that account in ways I couldn't explain, and I'd stopped asking questions I already knew the answers to. My dad found me on the porch waiting for my aunt. He held out 2 folded 20s. I didn't take them. "Call your grandmother," he said. "She worries." That was the whole goodbye. I moved in with my Aunt Carla, who had a spare room and a policy of not asking questions until you were ready to answer them. I waited tables 2 towns over, picked up every double shift I could get, and started saving with a plan. 6 months in, I opened my own account, no co-signers, just my name where it belonged. My sister, meanwhile, was having the year my family had always insisted she needed. Vacation photos my parents paid for, a lifestyle page about self-care and boundaries, which struck me as funny given she'd never once respected mine. My mom's texts slowed to almost nothing, and when they came, they had an edge. "We hope you're doing okay out there on your own," in a tone that made being okay sound like a diagnosis. The one person who never went quiet was my grandma. She called every Sunday, dry as ever, pretending she wasn't checking on me. "Your sister quit that internship," she told me in March. By July, it was just, "Come to my birthday, whatever's going on with the rest of them." Her 70th was the last weekend of September, almost exactly a year since I'd carried 2 bags down my parents' driveway. She refused the church hall Aunt Patty had planned and wanted it at my apartment complex instead, done having her birthdays wherever it was convenient for everyone else's feelings. "Nobody's going to want to drive out to my apartment complex," I told her. "They'll come," she said. I already told them where it is. She was right. 30-some relatives showed up, including my parents and my sister, who I hadn't been in the same room with since the night I left. I spent the morning setting up folding chairs and a dessert table, feeling strangely calm, like I'd already done the hard part a year ago, and everything since was just logistics. My sister walked in already annoyed. I could tell before she said a word. She'd spent the last year telling anyone who'd listen that I abandoned the family over nothing, and some part of her clearly expected to find me where she'd left me, small, apologetic. Within 10 minutes, our cousin told her I'd been promoted to assistant manager, that I was finishing a bookkeeping certificate, that I had my own apartment with my name on the lease. "What do you even do now?" she asked, loud enough that half the room turned. "Assistant manager," I said, "taking classes." She laughed and said, "Must be nice having no responsibilities, while some of us actually work for what we have." I didn't say anything back. Silence in front of an audience does more work than arguing ever does. My mom, standing near the dessert table, laughed along with her. "Sweetie," she said, "not everyone gets handed a fairy tale like your sister's worked so hard for hers." I hadn't planned to say anything that day, but hearing my mother call my sister's unfinished internship a fairy tale she'd earned, while standing 3 feet from the daughter who'd actually built something out of nothing, cracked the calm I'd been carrying for a year. I didn't get the chance to decide what to do with that crack because my sister got there first. That's when my sister lost it. She screamed that I always made everything about me, that leaving had ruined her internship because it meant explaining why the family looked broken. She knocked the cake onto the floor in front of every relative in the room, frosting side down, crying about how none of this was supposed to happen to her. The room went completely silent. My Aunt Carla finally spoke. She looked at my mother, not my sister, and said, "You did this. You built her whole personality around being fragile. No